Good morning, good afternoon, good evening around the world. My name is Doug Brunke. I'm the founder and CEO of Global Chamber. We have a Global Chamber Global Education Meetup today. So we have both business and education experts, and we have two keynote speakers who are going to be giving us a couple different angles of what's going on with artificial intelligence in their areas. And these are important areas for you as well. I'll let Jenna Fuentes introduce both of them, but Jenna is our moderator today. She's been very instrumental in our Young Global Leader program. She's also been involved with education and business. She's based in the world. More recently, she's been in Southern California, but she's also been in Argentina and other places. And it really doesn't matter, does it, where we live these days, which is kind of cool. And also, the world has changed so dramatically in the last several years, and one of those areas is artificial intelligence. And your mind will likely be blown by both of our speakers, especially kicking off with Jennifer Geisler at CYPHER Learning, talking about how artificial intelligence is making training and education, both for companies and for schools, extraordinary, and really a lot of what's been done in the past, a thing of the past. So Jenna, thank you for leading the conversation today. I switch it over to you. Thank you.
All right. Well, welcome everybody. Really excited to meet everyone from all over. Thank you, Doug and Cesar, and I think Elisa, the whole Global Chamber team are really thankful. So my name is Jenna, really happy to be here. My background, I worked at UC Irvine. I also worked at a small private college as a career counselor for 5 years, helping students from low-income backgrounds. Some were even formerly incarcerated, former gang members, homeless. So it was very fulfilling guiding them on their journeys. I also worked at an ed tech startup, which we scaled from 20 to 1,000 employees in 3 years, offering tech certification boot camps through university extensions. We got acquired for $750 million and exited in 3 years. So I've been remote for the last 7 years. But I'm an extrovert, so that's why I love these things. This is the highlight of my day because I miss people, especially global people. And currently now I have my own consulting, and I advise companies on their educational journey, especially incorporating AI technology, but remembering what does it mean to be human? How do we really make a human student-centered experience? Always caring about the student and community engagement, quality learning, but really excited about innovation. So I present to you today, welcome Jennifer, CMO and VP of Product Management at CYPHER Learning.
All right, let's
and as well as Fabiola from Accelerator and Incubator Coordinator at Tecnológico de Monterrey. So I'll pass it over to you, Jennifer, and then afterwards, Fabiola. And really excited and just thank you. Let's clap it up for them. Woo!
Yay. All right. Thank you, Jenna. Thank you, Doug. Thank you, Cesar, for all making this, and everyone at Global Chamber for making this possible today. What I'm going to share with you is a very practical and guided implementation of AI, in which you do not need to know AI. No one taught you the Microsoft operating system in order to use Word and Excel and all that, right? Well, AI is not an application. It's a technology that is supportive of applications. So I know that there's a lot of concerns about, you always have the friend and the foe side, right? Well, we already know about all the scary things associated with it, right? So we don't have to really talk about those. And there's things that we are guarding against those. But here's the practical use that also will give you back time. I was just presenting at the Association of Talent and Development in Austin, where I demonstrated to them the amount of time back we can give them in order to do what your actual profession is, because there's so much mundane work that AI can help with. What will be specifically shown with you today is the ability to create a course, not create just content, right? But create an actual full-blown course that would take advantage of everything that would be in a learning management platform. So what we're actually doing, we're converging the technology stack of learning management systems, learning experience platforms, and content development, consolidating that technology stack. But more importantly, is we're consolidating that workflow to eliminate all the manual labor associated with it that doesn't leverage your brilliance, right? It's just tedious stuff. That's all it does. It takes away from your teaching and your training that has to do it. Now, one thing is we are classified as a learning management company at CYPHER Learning. I just kind of want to get through this real quick. Okay, because that's the classification that's out there. If you already have your own learning management system, everything I'm showing you today can be created in the CYPHER platform and rendered in any LMS around the world, right? So don't think, oh, I can't do this because I already have an LMS. If you're in about having to create and great courses, we want to make sure that anyone can take advantage of this technology. So we are working nicely beside any LMS that's already out there, whether it's homegrown or you bought it or whatever the case may be. So don't feel like, oh, I can't do this because I already have an LMS. All right. Don't deter your thoughts. Don't limit your thinking here. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a course. And here I will share my screen. Okay. Okay, I guess I just press OK. And I am now showing you a dashboard, right? Everybody see a dashboard? It says our courses, or it says welcome to Fine Edge Company. As long as you're seeing that, I am sharing the right thing. Fine Edge Company is a made-up company. Okay, so we're just going to kind of get into it so we can get it created. We are going to create a course using, I got to get my thing out here, using our AI technology. So we call ourselves AI 360. And the reason we call it AI 360 is it's AI, but it's for every single stakeholder in the learning process, right? And what I'm sharing with you today is around course creators, trainers, teachers that have to do courses. There'll be another one for learners and another one for managers and mentors and teachers. So we are going around the whole entire spectrum, stakeholders, and that's where the term 360 comes from. So I have a question. This is not a magic trick. It will be magical, but it's not a magic trick. Devon, if I mind putting you on the spot, but you are one of the first people to log in. What would you like to have a course created on? If you don't mind if I put you on the spot there. If not, I'll pick on somebody else.
No, that's fine. Go ahead.
Anything.
Animal behavior.
Yeah,
would be great.
anything you want. It could be personal, professional, how to tie your shoe. I create a course on how to make Jennifer Geisler happy. Or you can be something very practical. I'll show you practical things. What would you like? Anything you want.
Were you calling on me?
Yes.
Okay, yes. Animal behavior, please. Ethology.
Animal behavior. Ethology. Is that right? Yeah.
Yes.
Good. Okay. So I'm simply going to press save. Now, the magic has not yet started. Okay. So on the right-hand side of the screen, you'll see add a course. And specifically about animal behavioral theology, was there something specific about that you'd like us to do a course on today? Anything specific around that topic?
Sure. Let's do bird song.
Okay. Is that right? Did I spell that correctly? One word? Is it a compound word?
That should trigger it. I'd be lying if I said I was sure.
Okay, that's all right. Now, we have the author persona. So what kind of persona would you like for this course to take from? You see fun things like entertainer, storyteller, science enthusiast. What do you think, Devon, what you would like to choose today?
Let's do storyteller.
Okay. Where is that? Right there. Okay. Would you like to have it for a beginner, intermediate, or advanced?
Let's do beginner.
Okay. Adults, seniors, teenagers, young children.
Let's do teenagers.
Phew. Okay. Teaching, direct or Socratic.
Well, I mean, it's got to be Socratic.
Okay. Writing style, professional, formal, casual, academic, and humorous.
Humorous.
Okay. Here we have the opportunity to tell the Copilot, remember it's Copilot because it's there to help us. It doesn't replace us. It's going to do 80% of the work for us. Any additional instructions. And you guys, we have done saying, I said, give it a Batman theme, give it a Barbie theme, give it, if I was doing a cybersecurity course, I could say, have Homer Simpson create the, being the voice of Homer Simpson, not in the actual audio voice, but the whole tone. We can be really more serious. We can say, here's my course curriculum, here's my course outline. So this is, to your heart's content, you can provide additional instructions, not mandatory, but this is where you can have so much fun with it. You can make it more serious or whatever. In the course we created in Austin this weekend was emotional intelligence, and it included Willie Nelson and Dolly Parton. I don't know where they came up with that idea, but they did. But Devon, you don't have to put anything here, but is there anything you want to put here? You don't have to, but we'll just go ahead and what would you like? Anything or pass?
Let's pass.
Okay, now languages. You can create the course in any language. Now, I think we have a few Spanish-speaking people here on the phone. I know for sure because Enrique and Yuri, who are with CYPHER Learning, are with us today. And I could choose Spanish and have the whole entire course. And the value here is I'm not translating things. I'm creating it organically. So all those colloquiums or those, the nuances that we have in different languages, and when we translate it, things get lost in translation, that guards against it. For today, I'm going to ask that we put it in English because I'm not fluent in any of the other areas. So we're going to stick with English today. Would you like to generate course tile images using AI? I'm going to say yes. We're going to bypass on the micro-learning format. Here, what I could do, and we'll show you another example of this, I could load up an existing document. Say, for instance, you already have your own content. So if you want to train people on your product, your technology, your compliance requirements, right? Anything you want, if you're an instructor or teacher and you have existing course content, you can load up a video. And we're not just talking 2-minute video. We're talking about hour-plus video. I could load up a PDF of 300-page PDF. I could load up a PowerPoint. I could load up Word doc, whatever I could do. And for me, being responsible for training people on the CYPHER Learning platform, whether it be salespeople, technical people, customers, or partners, to me, this is heaven sent. We're going to bypass this for the moment because I don't have anything on Birdsong at the moment. Now we'll go to competencies. I can use new competencies that we'll create for you, and I can have existing. We have over 3,000 types of competency already loaded. We have over 1,000 job descriptions that are mapped to competencies and skill sets, which can dictate and determine the content driven around a course. And remember those old days of trying to map competencies to quizzes and create quizzes that can test the competencies? Well, that's where we're talking about an integrated workflow where you don't have to do the mundane work. So here I'm just going to say new. And then we're going to go down to content. And I want to include images. I want to include videos. I include a glossary and I include a study guide. I'm just going to bypass that I'll just go ahead and put it in there just for fun. Modules. How many pages per module? I can say 3, or I can say 4, or I can say 5. I can add a free form assessment, which is an essay, and I can have it matched to rubric. I can do a quiz assessment, and I can select a variety of true and false that I want and fill in the blanks. Once again, create my question banks for me. Don't make me buy them. Don't make me create them. It's all in there. We can also do individual and group projects. I'm just going to bypass that for today, but I'll be able to show you examples. And do I want to gamify? I will say yes. Okay. Now, that would take me a lot quicker if I wasn't narrating it, but this is where the magic button is. I'm going to press create or continue, and it's going to say, okay, you ready to go? This says right here, I'm a Copilot. This will not be 100% perfect because it still needs your brilliance on top of it. But what it's going to do is it's going to take all that mundane stuff and give you the power to edit as your heart's content. That is where the beauty is, because we know it's super hard to do your first draft. So we'll go ahead and press create. And there it goes. Okay, see, Devon did this, right? It's going to take us about 10 minutes to do it. So we're just going to head. So I will leave this window open because I want to make sure you folks know it's not a magic trick. Okay, it's not a magic trick. I will go over here. I'll go to this course I created for ExtraHop. Okay, ExtraHop's a cybersecurity company. What I did is I loaded a 1-hour video on machine learning for, oh no, excuse me, that was a 10-minute video for them. I did a 1 hour for binary defense. I loaded up a 10-minute video and I said, create me 5 modules. I'll explain what these other modules are for in just a moment. Create me 5 modules off of this content. So it did this. This is off of a video. And I didn't touch anything. This is what gets created for you as a foundation. So in it, it did all this layout for me. It took it, broke it down. It included, an ExtraHop visual. I could press replace and choose a different one from the side if I didn't like this one. I also can replace it with my own, which I'd like to have. So I can do that as well. Once again, I didn't do anything other than what you just saw me do back there. Now within this module, we'll go to packet analysis. I had to create competencies, or I could have chosen a cybersecurity competencies. And in this competencies, it says, we're going to talk about packet analysis on the sensor. And that's what we want to make sure that we're training for and we're going to test for. Because what we're going to do is when we test for it, we have packet analysis on the sensor. And what this showed is that this course talked about it in 2 different modules and had a proper assessment, and we have 100% coverage. Just think of what you would do if you were trying to do this for a competency or a skills. Remember all the manual labor? And by the way, if you want to edit it, you can edit it. That's okay. You can go ahead and do that. But once again, that's where it goes. So we'll go back and we'll go back to the packet analysis. And we have introduction to packet analysis, and see how it inserts the ExtraHop content. Also a video of here, and I can replace videos as well. I don't want that video. I'm going to do this one, just randomly. I'm picking some things here that you could do. I could go back to my previous. I could also do a quiz. I can resume a quiz, but these are all the questions. Let's go a place where I haven't done the quiz, because I have been playing with this just to let you know. Wait a minute, sorry about that. I just went to my other course. See all these courses? See all these courses I created? I created all these courses because it doesn't take me much time. I just have to go back to my ExtraHop course. I think that's the right one. Sorry about that. Then I go here, I can do cloud analysis, and here's the quiz. Take a quiz, and here goes a true and false, multiple choice. Once again, I didn't have to create the question banks. I didn't have to buy the question banks. It was all there for me, and I got to determine, and they all map to the competencies of it, and this is just a summary of it. Okay? So these were the actual 5 courses that were created automatically. Then what I did is I went into this thing called, hey, I want to add 1 or more modules. These are modules, each one of these. And by the way, all these images on the modules were created via AI. You own those as the creator of it, meaning you, if you have the system, not CYPHER Learning. So I said, I want to create a micro-learning course for these additional 10 modules. So now I added these 10 modules, and I have the origins of ExtraHop. So one, I want to replace this visual real quickly. I like this one better. And I chose to do voiceover. And there were 36 7 existing voiceovers that I could use, right? But I could also add them, and also I could do it so it's in my own voice. So here's what was done automatically
Our
for
tale
me.
begins in 2007 when the brilliant minds of Jesse Rothstein and Raja Mukherjee, former senior architects.
Now think about this. Think about the ability if you were to put the maybe for people that English is a second language, or if this was in Spanish, it would be Spanish as a second language. For those that are more audio learning versus visual learning, or visual, audio, and text, you can combine those all together. And once again, I did not do anything. I did what you just saw me do with Devon's guidance, and I actually created this particular course. So let's go back. Where are we at? This is the course. We're at 51%. Okay, so let's hop over here real quickly. So here's a course where the only thing I did was map it to the biology GCE standards. This is a UK standard. Okay. And what I did is all I did was identify, like, check mark saying use the BGE standards. And then what I did is I clicked the competencies that I wanted to create a curriculum around it. All right. And it generated all this. So once again, I didn't know anything about biology. And just to let you know, this is for high school. Excuse me. This was a high school, not a college. Right now, this is going through an audit with the Belfast school. They're validating all the content too, which I'm really excited about. But once again, the only thing I did was select the competencies, provide the title, did a few of those parameters, but I myself did not need to didn't need to upload anything. It was 100% competency guidance. And here it became up. I used 5 pages per module. I included an essay. So here's an essay requirement, right? Yeah, sorry. We go ahead and go back to previous. There's disorders. All of this was created with all the visuals. I can replace them. But once again, the only tool I used for this was the ability to just use the GCE standard to actually do this. Okay. Any questions on that?
And
Okay.
we're coming up on 5 minutes or so. So if we want to, wrap up whatever you'd like to continue showing, and then if we can open up for questions.
Yeah, that would be great. So what if you want to know more, right? So there's a page called CYPHER.com/CYPHER/Copilot. And whether Enrique or Yuri put in the thing, but let's talk about the time value that you get. The time gap. We had 20 plus customers that did it before and after. They said before this course, before this tool, they would take them, months to do this. And they got down to 83% said they can now deliver a course in 15 days or less. Of those 83%, half of them said less than 5 days. So that is from ideation to delivery. So this is, see what AI is doing for you? This, let me see, what is it? Yeah. The ability to update, because AI will help you update these, 82% said I'm now going to update it, my course, at least once a year, right? Because sometimes you can create, but maintaining it. The cost gap, we had people across the spectrum, $5,000, $20,000. They said, 77% said from ideation to delivery, they now can create a course for under $1,000. About 50% of them said under $500. So as you see here, and by the way, we had in the first round, we had tons of people that were above $5,000. We only had one person at $5,000, and because they were creating basically a whole entire, I'll say, year and multiple classes, like a whole first grade curriculum. So it just wasn't a single course. So this is the difference in price from whatever the case may be to ideation to delivery for less than 1,000. So we're going to go ahead and go back here. And we're almost 89% there. We can open up for questions real quickly. And then what we'll be able to do is flip on this, and then I'll be able to turn it over to part 2 of the keynote. Any questions that we have?
Jennifer, I have a question.
Please.
Do you have to double check 100% of what is being produced by the Copilot just in case it was hallucinating or having, mistakes?
Right. So I would say that we would, just like me, if someone gave me a draft document, and I'm responsible for, all external representation of the company, I'm going to review it, right? Just the normal review process. As far as hallucinations go, I think that's a little bit overrated, but still a legitimate concern. But we actually do something called AI cross-check, which actually is validating, because we use multiple AIs. We don't care. We use the AI that we think is best, right? We're not wedded to one, but we use AI cross-check to go ahead and cross-reference and making sure this is when you go out to the internet. That's when you have the risk of hallucinations, is when you go out to the internet to pull the content. So we use AI cross-check for that. If you're uploading your own content, that's where you have 100% control of the content. You don't have to worry about some of those scary things that you hear about. But no matter what, just think about this. This still think of this as 80% draft, and you would still review it no matter what, right? I mean, that's just, it doesn't replace the human accountability to make sure that the course curriculum, what you want is what you want to do. That's why we call it Copilot. But it allows you to have more time on it. Not ready yet. I just want to see if I was kind of trying to get it. I'm trying to get it from here. But it doesn't. But it just allows you to spend more time on the fancy stuff versus all the manual labor that I just showed you. Another question, please.
Yes, I see that Bill has a couple questions about AI engine. What AI engine are you using to do this, and what is its cost? And the second question, how does one validate the information that comes back from AI, which I believe you answered half, but those are the 2 questions we have.
Yeah.
Well,
and go ahead, Bill.
if I could qualify, if I could qualify my 2 questions. Getting the latter one, I not as nearly as well as you, but I do daily use AI for all kinds of different things. If Copernicus used AI at that time, it would all come back with all kinds of articles and stuff about how the universe was centered by the Earth. So am I correct that what AI does is just grab current knowledge in an efficient way? If the current knowledge, like the way people talk about employee engagement being wrong, is wrong, then it's gonna quickly pull together current knowledge that may be wrong. So isn't there sort of a massive quality control issue?
Well, so let's take the AI element out of it for just a moment, right?
Yeah.
If you tell me to go create a course on human intelligence right now, what would I do? I would use currently available knowledge to create that course.
Which is precisely the concern that I have.
But I don't want to say the word but, because it's not a but, is what I was sharing with you, this is not an AI necessarily issue. It is the where we get our knowledge from. And whether AI is in existence or not, I, as a trainer, could go out and get content from wherever anyway, right? In the same way that AI goes out and do it. So I don't view this as a unique issue associated with AI. I just think that this is just a standard thing that's part of the process that we are.
No, but forgive me, but it makes it worse. And what I mean by that is that as Jim Collins put so well, a technology is an accelerator. So if you're doing something wrong, applying a technology to it accelerates the rate at which you do it wrong. And so the thing I was concerned about is just I'll call it for the moment, the recognition of that, because you can get lots of people saying the same thing. And if there's no research or validity to it, then it has this huge echo chamber effect. And I think that's especially with all kinds of reports of universities having fraud in their research. I'm just raising this as kind of a pretty big concern that we should all be looking at.
And I would not skirt that concern. I just think about it, I'm a marketer, I mean, and to help train too. So I'm concerned about what things are being said in the market and trying to defend them, clarify them all the time. So anytime there is the availability of knowledge, there's not always the accountability of that knowledge. So I think you're right, there is a speed. Innovation has always done speed, right? That's what we have with computer, right? Computers networking allowed us to share that information faster. Now AI is allowing us to share that information faster. So it's the speed of it. Yet I don't think it ever takes away, whether we're doing it manually with technology, our accountability around the content that we're actually using. But you're right, it is there. It's always been there, and it will continue to be there because we're humans. And but that's why we keep saying we don't do this. That's why we say Copilot, because we don't do this by ourselves. That's why we also like the ability to load the specific content and not only go out to the internet, because many solutions are just going out to the internet, where we're talking about taking your existing content. So you do have a little bit more control over that, right? By saying, this is what I want the course to be created on. And I know that this is good, in quotation marks, from doing that. But it is, I think that's.
Yeah, great. You've made, Jennifer, you've made that point well. And maybe you could just maybe like in the chat or offline, just what's the particular engine you're using and what the cost is?
Yeah. So,
hi everybody. Sorry, we actually are a bit out of time. However, would love if everyone could please put your questions in the chat. Let's keep answering, and then let's leave a little bit of time at the end to answer some of these questions, because this is really exciting and a lot to talk about. I think we could really spend hours on this. To your point, I'll just comment that in any tool or technology, it's something to take into account of bias and a quality control process. And as you were saying, Jennifer, that it's looking at our models and our systems existing already as human beings, and then tools are means and modes to accomplish those goals put together by human beings. So wonderful. Well, let's clap it up for Jennifer, and thank you, Bill, for your questions and really raising it, because it is important to acknowledge bias and about quality. Okay, so let's go ahead and introduce Fabiola, because we have about 20 minutes or so, and let's leave some questions. So go ahead, Fabiola.
Yeah, thank you so much, Jennifer. Your presentation was like out of our minds, and I've been working with startups from all topics, so it was amazing. Thank you for sharing that. And now I'm going to share a little bit faster so we can take more time. Actually, I opened already your page. So I'm going to talk about PASIA. PASIA is our program from Artificial Intelligence Startup Accelerator Program. We are launching this in an initiative that we made with CYPHER Jalisco. You can Google that. It was this big program that we make with IDB, with the government of Jalisco, C-Mines, and Tec de Monterrey. Tec de Monterrey, just for your knowledge, is one of the biggest universities in Mexico. It's #1 in Latin America. So we basically are launching this kind of programs so we can match the academia and the entrepreneurship ecosystem in all Mexico, and basically so we can launch it in all the world. This initiative was built to develop the artificial intelligence ecosystem in the state of Jalisco and basically in all Latin America, in using basically the promotion of ethical and responsible adoption and use of AI in the region by fostering collaboration between all these academic, civil society, the public sector, and the private sector. More in particular, between all these activities that we made for FERLA Jalisco, that you can Google the final report for these 3 years of implementation, I will show you what we did with PASIA, that was this program. We attend around 26 startups supported across 3 cohorts. They were all in all Latin America. We have from Mexico, from Argentina, Ecuador, Chile, and we have it from very much every kind of industry. We have from fintech, femtech, health tech, edutech. We have from very much everywhere and every industry. And one of the topics that we are looking for is to launch this kind of project in some cycle that we can have industry from outside, but with the academic sector, so we can have students making their practices there, so they can be involved in what the AI is doing in all these kind of sectors. And for the last cohort, we attend 5 startups in PASIA, but it was mainly focused on health topics such as reproductive, prevention of pandemic, epidemic, and others that we will be showing you in this presentation, in this quick video. And we're here basically because if we didn't have the support of Global Chamber and all the mentors that we have in there, well, basically our startups will be in the same place or in the same position. So it will be something that we will talk a little bit more ahead. But first of all, I'm going to show you this video. I will play. Tell me if you can listen, please.
Bueno, PASIA es un programa de aceleración para startups en inteligencia artificial que hemos desarrollado desde la iniciativa de FERLA Jalisco, ejecutado por el TEC de Monterrey. Y bueno, en esta ocasión tenemos 3 ediciones de PASIA, en la cual han participado más de 21 startups, y en esta tercera edición tenemos como aliado a IDRC, en la cual nos enfocamos en temas de salud e inteligencia artificial para startups de Latinoamérica.
Como en todos los programas de aceleración que existen, hay ciertos componentes claves. En el caso de PASIA tenemos mentores tecnológicos, de negocio, y también el componente de uso ético y responsable de los datos de nivel internacional. La función de los mentores es ayudar a las startups a desarrollar ciertas capacidades en términos de producto, de desarrollo de mercado o de mejoramiento de la tecnología.
Bueno, el Summit ha sido una experiencia súper interesante porque hemos reunido a todos los actores en el tema de inteligencia artificial y salud. Entonces, contar con emprendedores, expertos en el tema, el sector público, el sector privado y la academia, todos en un mismo lugar, ha sido una experiencia supremamente enriquecedora para todos los que estamos aquí.
Para mí, PASIA fue una aceleradora súper padre, súper diferente a las demás aceleradoras que existen o los eventos de networking entre emprendedores, porque fue una conexión más intrapersonal entre founders, personas de gobierno, instituciones que levantan capital o venture capitalists. Entonces, esa manera de que nos podamos conectar todos intrapersonalmente o personalmente fue muy enriquecedora.
Sí, en este evento pude ver un poco el potencial de innovación que tiene Jalisco, por lo cual estoy gratamente sorprendida. Entiendo un poco también cómo funcionan los sistemas de innovación tecnológico, el mundo de las startups en México, que era desconocido un poco para mí, y eso es un gran aprendizaje que me llevo. Por otro lado, me llevo contactos, personas que fui conociendo de diversas áreas con las que vamos a trabajar en conjunto seguramente.
Este Summit específicamente ha sido primero una gran experiencia de poder conocer a todos personalmente, de poder conocer a otras personas y también hacer conexiones. Hemos hecho conexiones con muchas personas dentro del ecosistema que nos van a servir mucho para el landing de Warner México, ¿no?
Estamos llevando muchísimos recursos y muchísimas relaciones, que tal vez es lo más importante de todo. Logramos generar un networking que para nosotros va a ser muy valioso. Y a nivel apertura mental creo que nos sirvió como para poder entender lo que te decía, entender un poco mejor cómo nos podemos insertar de una manera más efectiva. Nos fue como un baño de realidad. Nos sirvió como para entender lo que nosotros tenemos, cómo podemos hacer para llevarlo realmente donde queremos estar, que es justamente a la gente.
So with this summit, we were making the last stage of the third cohort of PASIA, which was to generate this kind of connections between the different sectors, different people, and basically with the startups and their mentors. I'm gonna show you next, but how did we do it? And that's kind of like the most important thing, because we wanna share this kind of model so we can see if any other universities or any other ones wants to join us in this kind of events. First of all, we access on the third generation to a grant for all the startups that were in that cohort. This was a grant that we have with IDRC, that is an institution in Canada. And each startup received around a certain amount. I don't know if it's the $22,000. It's around 400,000 pesos in Mexican. We have these workspaces with technical teams, especially in mentoring, such as technology, business models, and well, the health global too. And in these kind of places, we have IBM, Global Chamber, and the Global Health Network, and CYPHER as our mentor of all these, principal mentor. We have some other benefits for the startups, such as the credits for more than $500 in AWS cloud services. And it was basically a model that we can focus the startups in the middle, and we can provide with all these kind of tools, with all this kind of expertise, so they can grow in their sectors and they can be able to specialize in what they were doing, that it wasn't the third cohort around topics of health. What was the main result or the scope of work? With this program, we get to connect with other entrepreneurs. We get to execute this plan of action and to have a more strength AI ecosystem. We attend in this third cohort 3 startups from Mexico, 1 from Argentina, and 1 from Ecuador. And it was a very quick program, so we only have around 6 months to implement these kind of tools, this kind of knowledge. And what's our next step? We basically are looking for more collaborations. In Tec de Monterrey is not the only program that we have. We are launching new programs, such as in other topics like sustainability topics. We are launching with more specifically with students that are currently getting their startups running. And so we have lots of areas and lots of people we are looking for this expertise. And for me, it's very important to tell you that we have obviously next steps and lessons learned. For some of these are, we're going to have a follow-up session with experts from the Global Health Network. This next week in Nairobi, Kenya. So if you want to join us, we maybe have a Zoom meeting around there, so you can see what are the topics that we are taking one look, because there were many implementation of other programs in Latin America and in Africa. So there will be a lot of things to share there in the ethics way, in how it works, how maybe we have some difficulties in finding some startups with this kind of topics. We're going to see what was the impact from 1 year now, that it's going to be next January, so we can report these kind of achievements. And we're going to design a new strategy to launch a 4.0 generation of PASIA. So if anyone wants to join us in being mentor or having some connections, well, that will be very much appreciated. We're having a lesson learned more deeply processed for the selection of startups, because we have only 5, because we were really looking for the best in what they are doing. So it's something important for us. To strengthen the network, because we want to keep in touch with all these expertise, such as Donahi and Rene that we have here, Christian too. And we're going to have these, we want to have this kind of summit that can happen before the Finnish program, so we can engage with all these entrepreneurs, mentor, government, ecosystem, and other people that can help. It was an amazing experience, but I don't want to talk about at all with all these words that I have. I want us to share the word with Donahi and with Rene. If you want to have more information, you can send me an email. You can add me via WhatsApp. I have my cell phone there. or via LinkedIn. I can share you with my link. And it will be great if we have some talk and see if there can be some collaboration between Tecnológico de Monterrey and maybe your startups or entrepreneurship, or with all your ecosystem that you have already in your academic sectors or other academic aspects. And for me, it will be all, but I want to share the word with Donaji and Rene so they can share us how did they perceive this interaction and what was their main point of view. Donaji, I don't know if you want to start.
Yes, sure. Thank you very much. And if you like AI, you like education, and you like business, this is the right place for you. I want to share first a little momentum or a souvenir I brought from Tequila, and this is part of the experience of being a mentor with Pasia. And I have high standards, I can tell that. And let me share that the event, the summit they organized, was one of the best events, like professional events I've been in my life. It was so well detailed for everything, like it could be accommodation, logistics, the content, the people, everything was like on its place. You don't need to think about anything, and it flew. So it was very, very well done. And I won't get tired to tell that to Fabiola. And I want to share that with you because if you want to be part of a group of mentors that will be taking care of you, that's a good place to go. So as a mentor, I had the pleasure to help Warmi. They come from Ecuador, and their country they want to do business in is Mexico. So I helped them with that. In international, we help digital tech companies to do international business. And we did a validation of their product, a validation for the market, and specifically the concept they had at this moment. And regarding all the effort they have, basically, I think you can collaborate in 3 different ways. In my own experience, one is obviously a mentor. If you're part of the Global Chamber, that's super easy to go. But if you're not, you also can contact them, and they will put you in the list to see if they can match you with somebody. The other one is if you have money and you want to invest it in a wise way. That's another venue. They have impressive funding sources, but also they are always looking for more money if you want to contribute and chip in. So to put together an event like they did, or to match people with good quality, that takes time and money and a lot of effort as well. So if you want to invest, that's another venue. And the last thing I want to say is if you have a company, or you want to partner with somebody from the Tec de Monterrey, that's another venue. They have a lot of tech initiatives, and that will be very interesting for you to explore if you have an idea, or if you're looking for another partner for your company. Tec de Monterrey can be also a source, and definitely Fabiola will be your go-to woman to talk to. So I could talk for hours, but I know we have limited time, and that's the message I wanted to share. And thank you very much for putting this together and for inviting us.
Thank you so much, Donaji.
Yes.
Well, we would like to share some words from Renee too, if it is still possible.
I know we don't have much time, so I'll just go ahead. I'm a member of Global Chamber. I'm an American living in France, and I was a mentor to a femtech startup in Mexico. And it's really difficult to explain the experience that I lived in Mexico. It was a renewed contact with the country and the world of AI in healthcare. I must say that I was welcomed and people were very gracious. It was an event where we had culinary, recreational, and educational opportunities that were really all top quality. And the whole thing was infused with the energy of an artist who spent 3 days with us. And he really gave us energy and direction in our activity. So it was really, we had many chances to learn and to meet people from both the public and the private sectors. It was an exciting time to be there. I'm hoping to continue with this along with this flow between private and public, and also in the southern hemisphere, because I think we in the northern hemisphere cannot always assume that our methods work in other countries, and this is a good way to share them. As I said, it was a terrific 3 days together, along with Danahe and also with Christian, and of course the tequila helped the words and the ideas flow. So it was very enjoyable, and I thank very much Fazia and Fabiola and your team. Thank you.
No, thank you very
Wonderful. Well, we have 5 minutes, so do we have any questions? I'm sure we have so many questions. This has been also really inspiring just to see hands-on again from CYPHER Learning. Like, I really enjoyed looking at the back end of like the creation. I actually always prefer to visually see the solution. It's the best way to experience it. And thank you, Fabiola, for showing the videos and also having the mentors share your experiences. I think it's really inspiring also to see what's happening in Latin America. As you know, I've lived in Argentina for 3 years, and I've only been to Mexico City, so haven't gotten the chance to explore Guadalajara, for example. But yeah, any questions would you like to share in the chat or come off mute?
Yeah, Jenna,
Learned a lot today.
As always, fantastic moderation. And this is Dana Austin here in Atlanta. I had a couple questions. The first one was for our first speaker with Jennifer, and that's about creating this coursework and then the intellectual property protection of it. And then what are some of the considerations, which I think it was somewhat of the question one of the other attendees asked. What are the other consideration that the coursework being developed will not be replicated when somebody else wants a course on similar fashion, especially if we're trying to protect the workers' hours, even with some of our own contributions?
Yeah, so keep in mind, there's a lot of open source out there in the public that uses what we do to make themselves smarter. That's not what we do. That's not our intent. Our intent is to give you more time back. So first of all, anyone, this is a subscription model. You get an instance up in like an AWS and Azure cloud. That is your instance. We do not access your content. We do not want to have access to your content because we never have, because people already create manually courses on our platform as it is today. We do not know that. You own whatever you put into your platform, any content. You're the absolute owners of you, just like you would if you would create it without our platform. You own that. We do not have access to it. We do not try to learn off of it. We do not share it. Hands off on that. Yeah, it's yours.
If you may,
Thank you.
if I may just do a quick comment, for all this FAIR initiative we make with IDB, a tool that is for an AI auto-evaluation. So you can take this. AI is free. I'm going to leave you the link in here in the chat. And you can see where mainly, if you use some tools or if you use something, or you're implementing something with AI, you can use this kind of guide so you can see if there is some ethics or concerns that you may have to take in the government, in the due diligence, in many areas. And it is based on many investigations with other governments that are already having more strict regulations.
All right. So do we have any other questions for Fabiola and their program and all the great work that they're doing and awesome mentorship program? Any other thoughts, questions, comments, feedback? Oh, I see Bill. Thank you. Bill would like to know if there are, so Fabiola, can you please summarize a bit, how can people involve, support, or engage? What are ways to partner? I see you shared your email, but if you could just share that one more time, if you don't mind.
Yeah, I already put it on the chat. And yeah, if you want to write me an email or send me a message or looking on LinkedIn, I almost all the time answer fast. So we can have a meeting or something. Tec de Monterrey is a huge university. So if you have any doubts from another area that is not precisely the entrepreneurship area, I can link you very easily. So yeah, just send me an email.
Awesome. Yeah, so anyone else in the group, is there any other resources you'd like to share? Yes.
Sorry, I see a question from Maria Bocalandro about what tutoring capabilities do you have for local and international students?
Oh, thanks, Cesar.
That's for me, Cesar?
Yes, and Maria, if you want to speak up, feel free to.
Yeah, so I can catch better the question.
Yes,
I mean,
it's about tutoring. Yeah, sorry about that. It's about tutoring. We have a lot of local students and also international students that are taking our courses. And so I know AI is being used for tutoring, and I just wanted to know if that's something you've been doing, and, you know, pearls of wisdom, learned lessons, that kind of thing.
Well, our university has been launching many resources in the AI topics. Actually, we have a chat GPT from the University of Tec de Monterrey. So we do have a strategy to use AI in classes and in the academic. That's not mostly my area, but I can surely link you with someone who are doing these kind of programs in the area of academics. So if you send me a message or something, Maria, we can link you with someone who can help you in that. Great.
Last thoughts, comments, resources, anything that the group would like to share with each other?
Yeah, I wanted to share, we're having an international education week at Dallas College. We're 120,000 students big. But it's using a platform called 360 GLE. And so what I'll do is I'll send to the Global Chamber the link, just in case anyone wants to join us, because it's a way of getting students to travel inside the US using a platform that has 360 degrees. And it was created because of COVID. It was a company that took students abroad, but since they couldn't do it for COVID, they've gone online. It's a really cool resource. So I'll share that with Chamber. So it's this week. Any members that want to join. Thank you.
Could you put the link in the chat, please, Maria?
Thank you, Maria. Thank you, Jenna. Any other questions from anyone? And Carlos, oh, there it is. That might be it there. Thank you, Carlos. Anything else, Cesar? Would you like to close out the room?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I want to really thanks Jennifer, Fabiola, Donahy, and Rene for supporting as well, and Jenna, of course, for moderating. We were doing this meetup last year, I think every quarter, and we stopped. So I think having an ongoing meetings with Jennifer kind of gave me an idea of doing this again, and I think it makes sense to keep doing it. So if any of you wants to jumps in and kind of, you know, lead the conversation for the next one, feel free to reach out to me as well. I've been connecting some of you. Bill, I already connected you to Fabiola by email. So if you by any chance missed someone or you know, want to kind of follow up, let me know. I'm happy to help as well. So thank you, everyone.
Thanks
everybody.
Have a great week.